Okay, let's go.
Selamat pagi, good morning. We are back after a very long time off. Yes, we've been busy delivering classes. Yes, Alhamdulillah. We did the first live Wasiat Faraid class on the 1st of June, just the other weekend. And ramai orang datang. And ramai kisah seram. Kan? Banyak.
Yes.
The kisah seram is seram, man. Betul-betul seram. I mean, let's today's episode, let's put it out there straight away. We talk about people who got married and then their wasiat got revoked, people who got divorced and their wasiat didn't get revoked. We're gonna talk about adopted children. We're gonna talk about stepchildren. For those of you who, first got married, then got children, then divorced, and then married somebody else who also got children, you all know, your stepchildren don't get anything from Faraid. Then what if your new husband or new wife, new spouse, inherit the house from you? Then your children, biological children, don't get anything. And how? That's the topic for today. Very heavy, yes? So,
yes.
Let's talk about it. First one. Zul, what are the things that revokes a wasiat?
What are the things that revokes a wasiat? Divorce doesn't revoke a wasiat. A new marriage revokes a wasiat. So let's say if you are single, usually NS guys, they will have their wasiat. Then after that, they forgot about it. But they know in the back of their head that they have a wasiat.
Yeah.
Then when they get married, it's revoked. So and they're not aware of it. But they thought it's already in place.
Dah, aku dah buat wasiat. Yeah. Then after they got married, wasiat revoked. They're not aware. Then we also got cases where people get divorced and then their wasiat is still valid. Yeah. So you get married, your wasiat get revoked. But if you get divorced, your wasiat is not revoked. So in the end, we had some cases where, remember, the person passed away, and then the ex-spouse is the executor. Yeah. Very stressful, right? So they will take control of all the assets. Talking about that, we also have people where they are so concerned that when they get divorced, does my ex-husband, does my ex-wife get a share in my assets when I die? Short answer, no. No. So when you look at Faraid, not wasiat, you look at Faraid, your ex-spouse does not get a share in your estate when you pass away. In fact, we got this lady who spoke to us, right, that day when she came to our class. She is a revert. Okay, revert, that means she Muslim Islam. She got married to another gentleman who was also a revert. Then they both had their own set of children. Hers, his, and they also had children together. Ours, right? Hers, his, and theirs together. So her concern is, when she passes on, does the ex-husband get anything? Does her stepchildren get anything? Does her biological children get anything? So it's a tough question to answer, and so we're going to cover it today. Asri, do you remember that lady? We're not going to mention names today. We're not going to mention names. You remember that lady? What was the story?
Wait. Just now my internet connection actually disrupted for a bit. I got angry.
We were talking about the blended family, the reverts with the blended family.
Okay, I don't recall it offhand, but what I know was she had 2 kids. Yeah, that's about it. I remember. And yeah, when she reverted, because of, I don't know whether it's because of the marriage or anything, but I know that she divorced and she's still a Muslim. That's why she attended our class to know more about this whole situation. Can't really recall fully her case. Zul, do you actually recall the case for this lady?
Okay, briefly, she's a revert. So her ex-husband also a revert. They have kids who are before she became a revert. She have kids, 2 kids if I'm not mistaken. Then after being a revert, she have 1 more kid. So her concern is who gets what.
And because The gentleman she married was also a revert. She had 2 children prior to their marriage, and then when she married this gentleman, they have 1 child together, and he also had 2 kids from his previous marriage. So the case is, again, you have 2 people who are reverts, masuk Islam, alhamdulillah. From each of their previous marriages, they both had 2 children. When they both got married, they had 1 child together. So in this particular case, whatever wasiat they had written before, when they married each other, their previous wasiats revoked. They have to create one. Right? Then when they got married, they create another one. Then when they got divorced, that wasiat that they created is still valid. So now she's scrambling to create another wasiat to revoke the previous wasiat. Whatever new wasiat you all create, the previous ones will be revoked. Okay, so don't worry. The fastest, easiest way is just write a new will and state that it revokes all previous wills and you're A-OK. But of course, now the question is Faraid, right? Her biggest concern when she came to us, hey, I divorced my husband. And if I die, who gets my assets? She's wondering, does my ex-husband have a share in my estate from a Faraid perspective? That means when she dies, does the former husband, the ex-husband, get any share? Short answer, no. Right, we all know this. Ex-spouse do not have a share in Faraid. But biological children have a share.
Yeah.
Her stepchildren don't have a share. So how now, brown cow? Click, 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 click. Tough, right? Tough, right?
Yeah.
So just off my head, let's calculate the Faraid. Because we know she got 3 biological children, right? 2 from previous marriage, 1 from also a previous marriage, right? But she also got 2 stepchildren, but they're now divorced already. So when they divorce, are the stepchildren still her children?
No.
I don't think so, right? So when she passes away, the ex-husband don't get anything. Her 3 children get something. But because she's a revert, her siblings, her parents don't get anything also.
True.
Then on the ex-husband side, when he dies, she don't get a share. Their 1 child together get a share. His 2 children from previous marriage get a share, assuming they are Muslim, which we don't know. And his parents and his siblings also don't get a share. Is it complicated?
Very. I mean, technically, from what I see, the only beneficiary is the new child, the latest one, the one after they convert. So that's the only beneficiary that they are thinking from the Faraid. The rest, if she wants to give it away, then it's within her 33%.
Yeah, the bequest, the allocation. So to be clear, folks, if you're watching this and you are a revert or a convert, just understand this. A Muslim can inherit from a non-Muslim. A non-Muslim cannot inherit from a Muslim. So if you're a revert and you're single, you don't have children, there's no spouse, no biological children, your parents, your siblings who are non-Muslim do not get a share in your estate. Then how? How many of you have heard? Baitul Mal. Yes, Baitul Mal, also known as the heir of last resort or beneficiary of last resort. When there's nobody else, it goes to Baitul Mal, which is managed by MUIS here in Singapore. So do we see cases where people, when they do the Faraid calculation using the Sharia court calculator, they will see sometimes 100% can go to Baitul Mal if they are a single revert with no other Muslim relatives. Huh? Yes, and this is why you need to write a wasiat, folks. End of the day, once you have your wasiat, you can put in, I want to give 33% wakaf ilmu, I want to give 33% to my adoptive parents for adopted children, or I want to give 33% to my non-Muslim relatives, also can. That's how important having a wasiat is. But going back to this story of this lady, right? I have a similar story. I have a very similar story. They are still married. They were my neighbors. So they were my neighbors. This lady had, I think, 2 kids from a previous marriage. She married this gentleman who also had 2 kids from previous marriage. Or is it 2 or 3? I can't remember. Both are Muslim. So both had previous marriages, both had their own children from the previous marriage. Then when they got married, they have one daughter, one child. Okay, one daughter together. So again, hers, his, and then theirs together. So when they talk to me, they ask me, hey, how does Wasiat and how does Faraid affect, their distribution and all? And so I said this very, very clearly. For the lady, when she passes away, the husband gets a share. The husband gets 1/4, right? Because she has sons. She's got 2 boys from the previous marriage, and she's got 1 daughter from the current marriage. So the 2 boys and the 1 daughter takes the balance of the share. So basically the 3/4 divided into 5 parts. 2 parts for each of the sons and 1 part for the daughter. So husband get 1/4, balance goes to the 2 boys and 1 girl. Boys get 2 shares each, the girl gets 1 share. For her. But her stepchildren get nothing. There's no biological connection.
Yeah.
Then vice versa. The husband. Now the husband married her, yes? He had 2 daughters and now 1 daughter from the current marriage. No son. Stepson don't count. So when he passes away, the wife gets 1/8. The 3 daughters that he gets 2/3 shared amongst themselves. The balance goes to the brother.
Nearest male heir.
The nearest male heir. Even though he tells me, yeah, but I got son, I got stepson. But remember,
No,
stepson, no biological connection. Kecoh tak?
Yep.
Ini belum kisah seram lagi. This one is a quite happy family together. You all remember the other the other kisah seram that we got where this couple flew in from another country.
Australia.
They flew in, then they were telling us about some of the issues that they're facing. They got 1 son, right? And they got assets in Singapore, they got assets in Australia, right? The husband was a revert, right?
Yeah.
Then how? What do you think, Aspi? What do you think? In that particular scenario, lady is Singaporean, husband is Australian, they got 1 son together, they got assets both in Singapore and in Australia. Then how?
I think the illness for this case, the son is together, as in it's their son, right?
Yes.
So, the way I look at it, it's that their inner circle is mainly each other, or the son or the parents. So whatever assets they have is essentially will go to each other, the surviving party or their son or their parents.
Yeah. Well done. You're right. Because there's a son. Right? Because there's a son. So should either party pass away, the spouse, if the husband will get 1/4, if the wife will get 1/8, then the balance goes to the son. Because there is a son. Even though you cross state lines, even though you got assets in different countries and all, Faraid will still be at the...
Celebration going on. Damn it.
Kau buat pasal Faraid.
Of all timings.
Of all things. But like
My
I was
apologies, guys.
No worries. Like I was saying, regardless of where your assets are, Faraid don't care about where they are. Faraid cares about who is related to you. And that's a very, very clear thing that we need to think about. Okay, so for those of you watching, if you have a blended family, if you're a revert, look at your biological connections, who you're related to by blood and by religion, especially for context.
Oh God, I hate this.
Today can be a very short podcast episode. I think it's time we call it before the renovation gets any worse.
Oh dear.
Kelakar. And so, folks, if you are interested to learn more about Wasiat and Faraid and how this affects you, our next live class, because you all dah minta kita nak bagi, is, take this down, 13th of July, Saturday, 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. We will be giving you course materials. We'll be giving you lunch and refreshments. In fact, that day we have ruang solat also for you prepared. Prepare for a full day with us to learn about Wasiat and Faraid and how best you can plan to make sure that what you have, who you want to, when you want to, in the way you want to. Do look out for the dates and for the ways to sign up in the comments and the links below. My name is Afiq from Modern Muslim Finance. We do this just for you. These are my two brothers in Islam from different mothers. Hey. Gentlemen, any last words to say before we end for this episode?
My apologies for the noise. But yeah, I hope we learned something from this short session that we have today. And I'm afraid we have to cut it short before it gets worse. But yeah, do look out for our links and our upcoming class. 13th of July, is it? Yeah.
13th of July 2024. It's a Saturday. It's going to be done at our office down at Gateway West Building in Beach Road. Ashri, what do you have to say? Last words before the renovation start again.
Yeah, so when we're talking about the blended families, just to share a bit, what would happen if on top of that blended family, you have kids out of wedlock?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'll probably share this horror story during our next podcast. That's all from me.
Oh, yes. Please also follow us on IG. Follow the rest of my two brothers. They are also zulkifli.sg on IG and asri.rosli on IG as well. Yes?
Yes.
Yes, right. Of course, follow us at Modern Muslim Finance. My name is Afiq. These are our gentlemen from MMF. We shall see you at the next one, inshallah. Do let us know some of your hottest, burningest questions, and we will do our best to help you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam.